Hi there, this is Eitan, and today I'm going to make a review on the Spyderco Tuff, which is a collaboration between Ed Shemp and Spyderco. This model is made in the Taichung factory. This is the second release of this model. This is by DLT. It's DLT exclusive, but it was released earlier in 2014 in 3V steel, and they had a bit of, not a bit, they had dimples on the handle from the scale side and from the lock side. So, the steel here is screwer, and the specs are the blade length is around 3.7 inches. The total length is almost 9 inches, 8.85 inches by the manufacturer. The weight is around 182 ounces, which is 182 grams, which is 6.4 ounces. The blade thickness is 4 millimeters, which is 0.156, 157. If you, I seen this at different numbers at different specs. If you check it, 4 millimeters. I prefer the metric system. We have over here frame lock knife running on washers. So this is it. The blade grind is from the top 60%, something like that. Flat grind, and you have over here some sort of fuller. Let's make a sort of a blade comparison. So remember that the bottom knife will always look a bit bigger because the knife, the camera is a bit on an angle. So this is near the crease rib Omnimzan, and you see the cutting part of the crease rib is bigger. Let's here need the Strider SMF. It's similar size to the Strider SMF, and the cutting part is similar, but the Strider SMF is a bit bigger. Need the Spyderco PM2. The Spyderco PM2 is a bit smaller and lighter, of course, and the cutting part of the PM2 is a bit larger. The Cold Steel Code 4, as we see, is very similar in size, but the cutting part of the Code 4 is larger. And on Buck 110, which is approximately the same size, but the cutting part of the Buck 110 is a bit longer. So we have over here a big knife that was able to have a larger cutting part, but I'll get to that. It has a reason why it's not. Let's go. What about I like this knife or goods or whatever. So this knife is designed to be a tough knife, as its name says, for tough jobs. Now, people sometimes think the tough is something that you can do and chop with it, and I don't think this is what the maker or Spyderco intended. This knife, as you see, have a very unique blade shape. It have a very pronounced choil over here, and over here it have this sort of a place for your finger. The blade is a bit out, remind a bit of the Red 1, Red 2. It allows you to choke the knife very effectively. When you choke the knife like that, and you have a lot of place to your fingers, and you can apply a lot of force without the fear of slipping out or something like that, it allows you to have more control on the blade and apply more force with more control. So this is what I think where they meant tough, that you can push with it, that you can make a lot of push carts or dragging or stuff like that through dense materials. This is what they intended. This is what I think. The handle is very ergonomic. It's very nice. It have a very nice and smooth titanium side, and smooth is slippery. We don't like it, but the G10 over here is a-okay. It's like the PM2 G10, so it's fine on that matter. It has 4 pocket clip positions, and for the guys who like it, a lanyard or some string to attach the knife to your belt or something like that. It depends on what you do. The lock is start at the middle, which is give it a very strong lock. You have to apply a bit of force, but this is the point of this knife. And as you see, the locking is around 50%, and this is, as I said, gives you a very safe feel. The hardware itself, you have over here a stainless steel liner, okay, which gives it another force. You have over here lock phase insert, and over here over travel stop. The screws seem to be T8 or T10, which is fine. I think it's a captive pivot. I couldn't assemble or disassemble it because I forgot to mention to you, this knife was given to me for review from my friend Yihye, and it's kind of new, and he asked me not to use it or disassemble it. So all this review will be from me examining the knife, carry it a bit, playing with it, or seeing other reviews. So this is not a knife that I actually use too much, so take my review on a grain of salt, with a grain of salt. And now I'll get back to the handle. The handle is very ergonomic, and you have several of grips over here that you can use. The blade shape, which is a kind of a spear pointy, gives you a good puncture. The thickness of the blade is very at the tip, excuse me, is high, so you can puncture into different dense materials, even hard materials, without fear. A friend of mine used this knife, and the lock phase had a failure on the 3V, and he cut himself. I don't know what he done. Maybe he would like to comment on that one, but this can happen even to Spyderco Tuff, because you need to, even if it's tough or something like that, know the limits of your knives. The thing that I less like about this model is its price. It costs $315 for a knife like that. It's sort of a specialty knife. And why I'm saying that? Because for an EDC, or most of you use this knife, or the Sabenzo, everything knife will be sufficient. Those knives are lighter. They're not easier to maneuver, but are lighter, and some of them have more blade cutting parts, so it's better. And the lock is not that strong or tense, so it's easier to open and close them. But this knife, if you do a lot of force jobs which require you to apply a lot of pushing force or stuff like that, it can be good for you. But also there are other models at the different price points. Let's take the Cold Steel AD10, okay? Cold Steel AD10 or the Code 4, okay, can apply a lot of force over here, no problem. So and you can grip it pretty well. It has other disadvantages, okay, it's skinny, but etc. But what I'm saying here, it's a niche knife. I like it a lot. It's indeed tough for tough jobs, not betoning or stuff like that. It's tough for jobs that require from you to apply a lot of force. It's a bit pricey for what you get. Crew wear steel is a-okay. The coating is a-okay. DLT and Spyderco made here a very good product. The fit and finish is excellent. But as overall, you have a lot of competition in the $300 knives, which you can receive, I don't know, stuff that will be more to your taste. So as a function, as a tool, you can find cheaper. As a tool for tough jobs, you can also find cheaper. But if you like it, and if you like the design and the nice ergonomic option to capture it like that, it's okay. You should feel bad for spending $315 on that. For most people who like to try it, I would recommend to try to get on the secondary market. But if you want to get a new one, you can go to DLT and buy a new one. They have now in stock, as I said, as December 2021. So the bottom line for the guys who like it, and if you want to try to get a used one to see if you connected to this model. So this is what I had to say about it, and have a great week. End.